20 seconds left, surely. One last gasp. Charles Cook tries to take a bit off that. Hayden attacks it, heads it firmly back where it came from. Drops in the centre circle. Webster nods it down. The fans are demanding the final whistle. Yes! And there is the sweet sound of the final whistle. That was the closest we've come to dropping points at home. But goodness me, this side refuses to accept defeat or anything less than perfection at home. A tremendous outcome for Wrexham. They beat Bromley 2-1. Bromley came with an excellent tactical plan. They defended well. They defended high up the pitch, squeezed space, and put a lot of pressure on Wrexham in our own half. And they took the lead as well when Dennis drove around the side of the box, drove it in the goal mouth, Whiteley putting it in from close range. Wrexham responded, but it took a penalty to equalise after a scramble in the box ended in Tunnicliffe getting caught by a high boot. Mullen, after a long delay, just ripped it into the roof of the net. But then the second half was different. Wrexham dominant, really played well, created chances. Charles Cook made a couple of sharp stops, and Wrexham got the winner when James Jones and Alan Dalby came on. Again, Phil Parkinson, credit to him, won't accept a draw. He wanted the win. He went to 4 at the back. Jones and Dalby were excellent, and Jones got a decisive goal, drilling in a shot which took a deflection and went past Charles Cook. Wrexham had to dig in a bit at the end just to make sure they can clear it all out, but we did so, and well, that was a massive 3 points.
Really big 3 points, and I think County is still at 1-1 at the moment. It could be even bigger if that game finishes like that. I mean, we don't want this home record to end at any point. It's a really good win against a team who I think will push many away from home this season, especially the big boys. I think they always fancy themselves against anyone in the division. Like we said earlier, they got that point against Notts County earlier in the season away from home, and they looked like they were well on course to do that for large periods of this game. But it's that, the bit of quality off the bench that in previous seasons we just haven't had. It's the ability to bring Dalby and Jones on that has won us this game, and that quality and depth, should I say, is the difference, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, the ability to make those changes just shifted things around. They were bold changes, Jay, as well, weren't they? We could have said, we're on top of this game. I was sort of saying that. I'm on top of it. Let's just see how it goes. But no, Parkinson wouldn't settle for that.
Yeah, it was very, very risky, but that's what I like about Parkinson. He does roll the dice from time to time. That's the difference sometimes in promotion winning teams, isn't it? We could have settled for the draw today, but we took that gamble and we got the win. But I tell you what, we did look a lot more fragile defensively when Tunnicliffe went off. But wow, fantastic 3 points today. Absolutely. I mean, and that patience as well, just to work the game, to wear Bromley down, to get to the point where we can punish them. It was good to see. And a number of times you've come out when the first half's been problematic, but we've been able to alter things a little bit and just get that tempo back in. Is pleasing to see. But that was a big second half performance.
Yeah, the timing of the goal was critical in the first half as well, I think, just before the break. I mean, that sort of kills you. You've come away from home on a Tuesday night, you've took the lead against a team who's absolutely flying, and that sort of just knocked the stuffing out of them, I think, a little bit. It was well-deserved win in the end for Wrexham, and well worth the 3 points, because the second half display especially was brilliant. Yeah,
I've got to say I'm delighted for James Jones to get a goal as well. His work ethic is impeccable, isn't it? Yeah. And I wish he'd shoot more often outside the box, because he's got a cracking shot on him. Yeah. Really happy for him to get a goal today. Absolutely,
and he's been out of the team lately, despite the fact, ironically, he's been out of the team just after probably his best spell of form for Wrexham. So fair play to him. It was good to see him get that goal, and he did well as well. Both he and Dalby, just general play, they influenced things a lot, I thought, didn't they?
Yeah, it looked like a fresh pair of legs more than anything, didn't it? It was something new on the pitch, and they have different qualities to the two that went off as well. Dalby is, obviously, he pulls himself about like Palmer, but he's a little bit neater as well. He's a bit more interlinking. He pulls off from the nines role a little bit more, and he had a really good game, and deservedly so. Got some really good plaudits from us, and I'm sure from a lot of Wrexham fans after today.
Yeah, the home end fans were loving Dolby, I thought, when he was time wasting as well.
Yeah.
I think they really appreciate what he brought to the game there, and it was after Saturday's performance as well. Now, George, I reckon I know who your man of the match is, but shall we see what Che reckons? Did anyone stand out for you?
Really hard, really. That was a hard one to call. I'll let you guys go first. Actually, I can't really think of the top.
Well, I'm inclined to go along with what I think you're about to say, George.
Well, I think for me it's Ben Tozer. I think he didn't put a foot wrong. He was absolutely brilliant with the ball, without the ball. I think there was times that they were trying to play in behind all the time, weren't they? And Tozer's reading of the game today, not his pace, not his physical presence, his reading of the game was what set him apart from anyone else on that pitch.
Yeah, I think so. I think that there was a lot of good stuff that he did. I think, to be fair, Ford was lively, breaking down the right. He stretched the play a lot and was really driving at Topoloy. So I was pleased with him. Mullen's work rate was excellent, and he kept his head with the penalty, didn't he? The young made the odd mistake, but was typically driving things forwards.
I think Tozer is the fair man of the match.
Yeah, Tozer's the man. I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, an excellent 3 points for Wrexham. Notts County still playing as we speak, because of course they kicked off 50 minutes later, but I've just done a look on Twitter, and their account at the moment is still 1-1, 3 minutes left. So
I still think it's not focus on what Notts County are
doing. I agree.
I think as long as we're winning, they're going to buckle at some point.
Yeah.
You know, January transfers here. Ruben Rodriguez maybe going in the summer as a free agent. Maybe someone will put a bid on him. You know.
Yeah.
I just think we focus on us. I think they're going to fall off at some point.
Two things. One is that Ruben Rodriguez went off in the 73rd minute, so we'll have to see whether he threw his shirt and boots and underwear into the crowd. And secondly, George, I've just got to say, you won't believe this, I mean, Che, right? He's always, it's all going to go wrong. And I'm saying, don't worry about Notts County, they'll be fine. The one time I refer to Notts County, and it's Che of all people saying, don't worry about Notts County, mate. Don't worry about it. What?
Part and parcel of commentary.
Shocking, isn't it?
The game. I've changed my tune. I'm a bit more positive this season.
Good lads. That's the spirit. You've got every right to be.
Yeah, no, I think this side is a lot more complete than last season.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more depth now. I'm not worried about anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think we win that game last year. I think the differences off the bench, and more so the time that the teams had together now. They've had a year behind them, and Palmer came in January last year. McFadzean came in January last year. These players are now starting for us, and they've played together for a long time, and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
So
and we've also now got to the point where we have assimilated those new players into the system. So players like O'Connor and Lee they fit into it very nicely, and that's also a real positive, because it did naturally take a little bit of time to bed them in. So that's wonderful too. We are now unbeaten in 19 games, which is
run.
It's not bad, is it? It's the club record since joining the Football League.
Wow!
So that's quite something. We tied it after the Coventry game, and it is one off the overall club record, which was set in 1901. When, like I said, as I always say, the standard of opposition was different, and in some ways you can't compare. This is a much more difficult feat. But having said that, we can't claim we're a club that goes back to 1864, but then ignore records before 1921.
Yeah.
So we have to acknowledge that was Wrexham Football Club. But we are one game off that now. It's a shame if it's the Altrincham game on Friday that we may want to throw away. Yeah. But hey, it's about winning stuff, not about records.
I think that reserve team can go far in the FA Trophy as well.
Yeah, true.
I think the worry is you get to a certain stage in the trophy, and it's like, we're 2 games away from Wembley now. Let's play the first team, and I just hope that doesn't happen, and the younger guys and reserves get a chance.
We're going to do the treble. FA Cup.
Well, that is positivity.
Positivity
personified.
You've learned from me, Che. You're a good lad.
Well, as you said to that TalkSport guy, we're winning the FA Cup.
Yeah. I didn't mean it, but he thought I did, and was remarkably patronising to me, which was why I doubled down and suggested that I thought we'd win the Champions League within 3 years. And he thought it was serious then as well.
Oh, wow.
us country bumpkins, eh? What mugs we are. Well, look, we better finish now, hadn't we, really? Because it's, it's time for your supper and everything. Or if you're in Australia, it's probably time to get up. So get back to work. That's right. Yeah, all those wonderful people who were listening to the game when they should have been, I don't know, working or attending their grandchild's concert or whatever. Che, that's real. That's real. Yeah. Bus Tales Any, always good with the quality stuff, was at their grandchild's concert, but with earbuds in to listen to us, really. Utterly heroic, that is, I've got to say.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's
to all
brilliant.
you, it's fantastic, isn't it? So, to all you guys who've been listening, thank you so much. Thank you for sending in those brilliant Ask Wrexhams. As ever, we didn't have a chance to go through many of them, but as ever, again, we'll have a mop-up podcast. That makes it sound so special, doesn't it? We really value you. And you are the mop-up. We will have that on either tomorrow or Thursday, probably Thursday, and we'll get that across. It's been an absolute pleasure. The highlights can go out 10 tomorrow, and so watch out for them. We'll have this Hot Take podcast if you're listening to it as a podcast. If you're not listening to it as a podcast, then it's the commentary, but you can listen to this again. I don't know what I'm saying really now, and really in all honesty. And also Neil's Equivant and all will be coming up. So a Welsh language match report too. George, this is your debut with us.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and it's been brilliant to sit along the pedigree of you guys up here.
Hey.
So it's been great. Thank you for having me.
It was a sparkling debut, to be honest. Well done. You were absolutely outstanding. We really enjoyed listening to you, and we will definitely get a bit of chat going with you separately about the ADC, which is such a wonderful thing and such a fascinating thing as well. So
it's brilliant.
We'll definitely chat about that as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Well, that was a big win for Wrexham, a massive win for Wrexham. The final score of Wrexham 2, Bromley 1. We've been Mark Griffiths, George Randles, Neil Williams, Che Long, and 9,800 others on Wrexham Player.